All right, so first things first, we got the main hoop tacked in, which I promised I was gonna get done at the beginning of this video, and boom, it is done. So got that finished. We have the down bars made in the front, and then the dash bar cut to length, and those are all polished up. One thing I did not share with you guys yet is I accidentally cut, actually that connector right there. That connector right there, there's some stuff in that I needed. Mostly for like lights and stuff like that. But yeah, I cut that off. So what I have decided to do is, well, make myself more work. I have decided to completely gut all of the stock wiring at this point. Because the only real stuff that I need any of the stock wiring for was just for like the lights and the wipers and stuff like that. The big news I want to share with you guys is this over here. So much more room for activities now. Now everything's still a disaster because this just happened yesterday. But I finally sold my 2013 WRX that I've had since brand new. I bought the car brand new, modified the hell out of it, and I kind of knew a couple years ago that my time with it was kind of done. Like I had learned everything and done everything that I wanted to do with that car. So I decided to sell it. It took me a while to find a way to sell that car. I had to sell it through Bring a Trailer, and someone from California actually bought it. So it went on a transport truck yesterday, and now we have a ton more room in the garage, which I desperately needed because I was working in a very, very confined small area. All right, so I'm not gonna take every single wire out of this car with you guys on camera. I'm just gonna get enough of this stuff out of the way that it's not in my way while I'm trying to get this cage mocked up. So yeah, I'm just gonna start by getting this big stuff out of my way that's kind of in the way of me progressing with fabricating the cage, because at the moment us getting that cage done is still the primary goal moving forward here. So yep, let's start getting into all this craziness. Well, as you can probably see from the time lapse, I was trying to be a little bit gentle with it and get everything out in one piece, but then I'm like, why am I wasting my time doing that? This harness is going to be trash. So I started getting aggressive with the cutters, but as you can see, plenty of room now to be able to get the cage mocked up in the front here. And take a look at this. This harness is a beefy boy. There is a lot of weight here. I'd be curious to know what just this weighs on its own. And yeah, as you can see, we have a lot more room now for all kinds of activities, and the car is one step further from being able to be driven again. But hey, that's race car stuff, I guess. All right, so we've got the dash bar and the down bars in there. I've got them kind of held in place pretty good with magnets right now, and I've got the dash bar exactly where I want it to be, right in the center of these little saddle deals. And let me show you the magic of these little templates. So I've spent quite a bit of time cutting these where I need to cut them. It's gonna be line up with that bar right there. So it is gonna be something like that. And what is incredible about these templates is they actually tell you how much material you're gonna end up using in the bend. And that is how I bent up the main hoop using these templates, and it was extremely accurate. Yeah, now that we got that made and I'm happy with how that fits, let's start to get some material cut and start to make this thing. So I had a lot of issues bending this tube up, and I'm pretty sure I figured out what I did wrong. You'll kind of see in a minute here what happened to the tube, but I'll share in the next video if I'm correct about what I was doing wrong. All right, so I definitely had some issues bending this tube up, and I think it was mostly my error on this one. So if you look really closely, there's actually a small, very small kink right there, and that is no bueno when you're trying to do bends for a cage. So this piece is junk now, but I am not 100% sure what caused this. I know I had to, you can see in the time lapse, I was struggling. I was having issues with getting the pin back in the next spot on the bending die. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if the pipe slipped in the clamp. I'm not totally sure, but I made some adjustments and I did another just test bend here, and this is a really, really clean bend. This is probably the cleanest one I've done so far, including the main hoop. So I don't know. I don't know what I did there. I think it was user error, but I'm not totally sure. But we've got another pipe all marked up here with our measurements again, and we've got it all polished up again with the sketchy polisher, and we're just gonna try it again. All right, so we got our bar bent up. Oh my goodness, I don't know why this one's giving me such a hard time. This is so much simpler than the main hoop, but okay. So I made a mistake. I actually put the 35-degree bend in the wrong spot, but I was able to save the tube just by like finagling it, by putting a little bit more tube on that side. I was able to save it. So anyway, we got it bent up. For some reason, this same bend, this same 35, or no, that's the 50, that looks fine. The 35-degree bend almost tried to kink on me. You can't even see it, but you can feel it. It tried to kink up on me. I don't know why it did it again. Once I saw that do that, I put a lot more lube on this side, so I don't know, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm just not using enough tube lube. But yeah, it's not even anything you can see on this one, so I'm not worried about it. But you can just barely kind of feel it. It tried to do the same thing. It tried to kink up on me again. But yeah, let's get this test fit in the car and see if we can't get this baby notched too. Check it out. We've got the bar fitted, just held up by a couple of magnets right now. So yeah, I'm pretty darn happy with the fitment. It is, got it, you know, as close to the windshield as I could get it within reason. I think it looks a little closer than it is on video here. But yeah, the fit up there is good. It goes really, really good with the A-pillar there. There's a gap right there, so I do need to take more out of the bottom of this cope. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, it's crazy how much work goes into just one of these tubes. It's kind of wild. So I'm gonna get that fitted a little bit better, and then I'm gonna get the seat in here and figure out if I gave my passenger enough head clearance or not. All right, so we got the Kirkey temporarily mounted in there on the stock seat sliders. So I think I'm gonna try and utilize those. I think that'd be pretty cool to be able to still have it to be adjustable forward and back. So I think I'm gonna try and use that and make that work. Got the stock passenger seat in there. And yeah, I'm really happy with the progress that was made. So I lost some video files, but what I am doing right here is I am notching the driver's side bar. I got it all bent up, got it all polished up, and then we're just notching it right here, just to catch you guys up from the lost video clips. So we got that first cope done for this bar. The length of it I just made the same as the other bar, so I could kind of cheat there. This other cope is a lot more complicated because we're putting it on a bend. So let's see. I cut the length down just to the rough length that I'm gonna need it at least mock it up. So it's gonna be more like, yeah, there we go. It's gonna be more like that. That's what we want. So we'll line it up with that center line on the bar. And we'll give her a little push. Oh, this is so tricky with one person. Okay. All right. So I'll give you guys a quick look how this tool's supposed to work, even though it is a little trickier in actual practice here. So that center line we made lines up with the gap and the needles right there. But how I'm doing it is I made my mark where I want the bottom of the cope to be. So I'm gonna get this lined up. Oh, gotta make sure we're centered there. I think we'll try going right there. So I just trace the cope like that. And there you go. That gives you a kind of a rough idea of what we need to do to make that cope. All right, let's see if I can climb in this thing without knocking literally everything over. Oh boy. Oh boy. Chances are high that a bar is gonna fall on my head. Okay, all right, we can do this. We can do this. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. We're kind of in. All right, okay. Oh, we're in there. Whew. Okay. All right, sweet. We've got tons of helmet clearance, which is great. Might not look like it on the video, but there is a lot. And I'm also not really sitting how I'm gonna be sitting in the car because the seat's not attached. Nothing's attached. No, but that feels great though. I got plenty of leg room. This down bar could even come over a little more. Like I've got plenty of leg room there. All right, so I'm pretty happy about this. I don't know if you can see it, but there is some gap right there that I have to do a little bit of work with that, and then I also need to take this up a little bit too to get it just a little bit further away from the roof here, so it's not touching it. I think that's going to be it for this video. We got a lot done. There's a lot of time that goes into each one of these bars, especially a brand new person like myself taking this on. So I'm super happy with how this is all going, and if we're gonna get this thing back on the road again, we got to just keep trucking along. I hope you guys are having fun too, you know, watching the mistakes and the trials and tribulations of trying to learn how to do all this. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, I gotta put the steering wheel on. Oh yeah, baby.